Hi there, it's Jonathan Quayle again for another Lifebuilder inspirational quote, and today's a reflection. So the quote I've chosen today is by a young author who goes by the pen name of Pueblo. His real name's actually Diego Perez. He's from Ecuador. He's an author, he's a writer, he's a poet, he's a meditator, trying to make an impact on the world. I got this quote on one of the WhatsApp groups I'm part of today, so I thought it was appropriate that I used it for today's inspirational quote and reflection. And the quote goes as follows. They asked her, "What is the key to saving the world?" She answered, You are the key. Heal yourself. Know yourself. Make yourself whole and free. Release all limits so that your love can flow unconditionally for yourself and the world. This will open the heaven of your heart completely and will guide you without fail. Which is a great quote. You are the answer. We're looking constantly for answers out there. We're looking for answers in the world. We're looking for politicians to give us the answers, for leaders to give us the answers, and it never seems to work. Leaders fail us all the time. They often corrupt. They often are really out for their own self-interest and not really thinking about the interests of the people they supposedly represent. So the answer lies with you. There's no other way that you're ever going to make an impact in your own life or anyone else's life unless you look within and you try and heal yourself. I think we all kind of know that on some deep level, but it's very easy to get lured in to the promises that people make us, whether it's a leader, whether it's a company trying to sell you a product that they're telling you need to improve your life, to improve your status, your self-image, whatever it is. In fact, our whole world is set up to try and provide some answers, to try and provide solutions to the apparent problems that we have. But usually these answers miss the mark because they're not directing us to the true source of all of our problems and our pain and our suffering, which is internal. We have a false belief about ourselves. We have a belief that we're limited, that we can be hurt, that we can suffer. We have a belief that we're human, because that's the human condition. And the truth is that we are more than that. There's something inside every human being, the being part of them, not the human part of them, the spirit that is eternal, that's immortal, where there's only love, peace, happiness, and joy. And until we can find that part of us, we will suffer. So healing is really about changing our self-concept, connecting with this true self, this eternal nature that is always within us. Has never gone away. It's just been obscured by all of our false thinking and our false beliefs. And healing involves finding that again. It's as simple and as difficult as that. Because it isn't an easy journey. We live in a world that supports our human identity, that constantly tells us we're a body, constantly tells us that we are human, that we're limited by the human condition, that we have to play by the rules that have been made up by us. We've all agreed to. We've bought into the rules and the laws of a society that really doesn't make a lot of sense most of the time. And we've neglected this inner self. We've neglected this true part of our nature where love and peace and joy and happiness stem from. And the healing journey is really to reconnect with that. So how do you do that, you might ask? How do you reconnect? Well, it starts with starting to become aware of what's not you, what's false. That awareness is the first step. And then the second step is to let go of those false beliefs as they show up. So whenever you're feeling depressed, anxious, stressed, fearful, angry. These are all really just symptoms of a false belief playing out in your mind. The world triggers these things, but it's not really about the world. The world just brings up these thoughts and emotions which are actually resident in your own mind. And so the way out of them, the way to free yourself, is to let go of these negative thoughts and emotions as they arise. And as you systematically and consistently do that, you start to become aware that there's something underlying that. There's an awareness, a higher awareness, a true awareness, your true nature, whatever you want to call that, that underlies all that, that's beyond anger, that's beyond fear, that's beyond any negative thought or emotion. That is your true nature, that's your true awareness. But it does require a lot of work to let go of your false beliefs and ideas about yourself, which are reflected in your world. They're reflected in everything that you see in this world. They're reflected in the relationships you have, the things you interact with, your work, society we live in. We're constantly seeing a mirror of the false self, and we're also seeing reflections of the true self. We're also seeing love. You can see love in this world. You can see joy. You can see happiness. You can see peace. Those are also there for you to see. So it depends on what you want to see and what you want to focus on. So in my view, based on all the studying and research and meditation that I've done, this single simple skill of letting go is absolutely the critical skill that we need to learn as human beings. This is the one thing we don't get taught. We don't get taught this at school. We don't get taught it by parents. We don't get taught it as adults unless you start to go on a healing journey. And yet it's the most critical skill. It's absolutely crucial, because if you can't let go of what's false, how will you ever know what's true? The truth simply is obscured, and so we never really know ourselves. We go through our whole lives not knowing who we really are, which is crazy, which is insane, but that's the so-called reality that we've created. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how to let go and the art of letting go, I'm going to extend an invitation. You've probably had this before, but I'll keep giving it because, as I said, I believe it's the single most important critical skill that every human being can learn, and it's not commonly taught. It's not that easy to learn this skill. Even in spiritual circles, often people are focusing on other things like manifesting your dreams, creating a better reality, but they neglect this one thing, which is, well, how are you going to do that if you're still holding on to negative thoughts and feelings? And in fact, if you believe that you are who you're not, well, by definition, if you do that, everything that you create from that false self-image is going to be false and is not going to work. So it's not about becoming more of something that's false, which is often what a lot of personal development and personal growth is focused on. Become more, become better. Okay, so you're going to become a better false self. That's not really what it's about. It's about letting go of the false self entirely, letting go of that ego, really. This false idea that we are separate, we are limited, we're an individual, we're human. And when we let go of that, we have to then start accessing the truth, which is that we're one. We're not separate. We're really one. We're spirit. We're all essentially the same. We come from the same source. And all separation is just an illusion or a dream. You may not believe that, but you may want to believe it. This is the truth that underlies all the great spiritual teachings and religions of the world. We are one. But to learn that, to really internalize that, and start to live from that place is the secret. So I'd like to invite you to come to the Art of Letting Go webinar that I'm running this Thursday evening at 8 o'clock South African time, 7 p.m. UK time. It's about the art of letting go. It's about how you learn the art of letting go. It's about a process that I'm running in September and October, a 6-week process, which is designed to teach you this very critical skill and an art, because it is an art, it's not a science, the art of letting go. So I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about 3 secrets, 3 fundamental life operating principles that you can base your life on, which will inevitably lead you to a sense of peace, happiness, and purpose and success in this world as well. and I'll be taking you through a powerful 10-step letting go process, which really summarizes all the teachings in A Course in Miracles, which I've been studying for 13 years. It's the most profound spiritual teaching I've ever come across, and I've put it into a simple 10-step process that you can do whenever you're faced with anything negative, which happens on a daily basis. We all get challenged, we all get triggered daily, so how do you deal with it? So I'm guiding you through that process. I'll be giving you access to that process, free access, so you can, after the webinar, you can start using it. And if you want to take it forward, you might be interested in doing the Art of Letting Go course, which will immerse you in this skill, this field of letting go, of forgiveness. So if you're interested, go to theaolg.com. So that's theaolg.com to find out more information and to book your place. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the quote, and I hope that you'll take some action on it and you'll join me. If you're serious about your healing, then don't miss Thursday evening, 8 o'clock. theaolg.com, and just book your place, and you'll get an email with all the details, and join me then. Have a great week in the meantime. Thanks for listening.